Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I believe, like you say, we've maybe worked a few tournaments adjacent to one another, but not quite being on the microphone together. So yeah, it's kind of cool to finally have that little meet, that little icebreaker, and now ready for the cast, of course.
Oh, that is my bad. Like I said, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one in the bank. Oh man, I did a whole intro, ESL Challenger League, South America Season 48. I was just saying how excited I am to work with Scriv because we've worked a lot of events and we've worked a lot with the same people, just haven't had the pleasure of getting to cast together. So now that you heard Scriv and you didn't hear from me, we've got the full picture. Either way, mate, we've got some good Counter-Strike lined up here. Business end of the competition here in the group stage as well, if you will. Only a couple best of ones left to be played by these teams. Crew against MIBR. Thoughts off the bat?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough matchup for Crew at the end of the day. They have had a good season, I think. They come in through like ESEA Open, right? And they're a new organization to the space, and the Argentinian Counter-Strike's not really been famous necessarily. So I think they've been doing well, but MIBR performing very, very well at Pro League, I think, is one of the big things. They have actually domestically dropped off a little bit since coming back from Pro League. Feels a bit strange, but they haven't looked as good. Maybe feeling like they're comfortable in their position in ECL. Maps-wise, there's a lot of clashes. I think there is potential here, actually, for the side of Crew to maybe steal away one of the maps in this sort of 2 best-of-1 series that we have going on. And I think that would be a lot of fun, actually, if we do see this Crew team match up against MIBR.
Okay, well, we've got the entire standings on the screen right now, which I'm actually really glad we get a quick look at. Now, remember, there's 16 teams in this competition, so everybody plays against each other. They play two best of ones against one another. So essentially, you play 30 games if you want to look at it like that. So you can see Crew, they're sitting there in 9th position right now. And it's not like they're locked in and guaranteed to get themselves into the playoffs. They're kind of relying on other teams not winning their games if they're going to remain in playoff contention without winning any further series. If they want to be in control of their fate, however, you'd imagine they're going to get some points out of their up-and-coming games, and that's going to be very difficult against MIBR, and then they play Bestia tomorrow or the day after, which will be their last match, is obviously a regional game. So I feel like there's a good chance we could actually see Crew going through to the playoffs.
Yeah, I would think so. They've, like I say, been looking okay, you know what I mean? Especially, again, for fresh blood and everything like this. I think they've maybe overperformed ever so slightly. They have, as you say, just sort of stacked the games a bit wrong. They maybe have a result in here along the way, like losses to teams like Glories. They lost out to Dusty Roots on one of the maps. They potentially needed to pick up those maps, to pick up a few victories in places that they were expected to do so, as it could get a bit scary here. But I think they will just about be in. They'll just have a very difficult seed, is probably what I'm thinking. And then going into playoffs next week, they might struggle from the get-go. And when you've had a long season and it's been just best of ones, you want to get into the BO3s. You want to sort of prove yourself in the more competitive, more conventional way that we play Counter-Strike at this kind of level. So I think they'll be disappointed with a lower seed. But yeah, here are the teams for you guys, of course. And I think a lot of recognizable names on the MIBR side. Crew you might not be as familiar with, but ultimately you will be by the end of this evening.
Yes, sir. We will ensure that's the case. As you say, a huge amount of recognizable name value. Immediately, the name that jumps off the screen from that MIBR team sheet is Luke. Joined the team recently. He's been a name that's been on the brink for a long time in the Brazilian scene. A player that quite a few people have looked at and thought could be someone that maybe could be slotted into the Furia roster. Now he's got his chance here in MIBR. He's an explosive rifler, someone who takes space, creates space, someone who's very happy to run at his opponents and take those gunfights. 1-for-1 with Brinzan or BRN, or the name that no one ever knows exactly how to pronounce. I feel like it's not a 1-for-1 swap just in terms of the roles, but I think between exits and drop, they actually should be okay to just share the load and allow for Lukazi to slot into the system and be comfortable with it as well.
Yeah, he's not looked fantastic since he's joined, I won't lie, having a few rough games here or there. It is a sort of post-Pro League move for them as well. That ultimately has opened the door, I think, into, yes, some great names on this MIBR side, but are they able to facilitate that right at this time? Are they just kind of playing it out? it does feel like a move as well that's been happening for a good while. When you look at Lukowski's history, Lukowski's teams that he's sort of been in, it is a bit surprising to see he was sat on that Fluxo team for a couple of years, before being moved across. Many teams, Imperial, Pain, right? These are all squads that potentially could have picked him up in that time, you feel, because I think he has a lot of exciting prospects around, excitement in general around him. He will be our player to watch for these two maps as well. We thought of, kind of going that direction just because, yes, you could maybe look at Insani, you could maybe look at Safe as being your sort of higher fragging, better stat line kind of players, and we may well get that from them in these games, but it is cool to kind of check in with Lukowski, see how he's doing, and see if he is able to kind of improve. I think, like I said, the opening games for this guy, not been fantastic, but maybe that is to be expected.
Yeah, you've got to give him a little bit of a grace period, but I think it is a good idea to just put a spotlight on him. I know we got the veto ready, but I think just to get a quick word on their opponent's crew coming into the series, Ataraxia, absolutely someone worth keeping an eye on. He's the AWPer for the team, and he's very happy to play that like shotgun AWPing, getting in the faces of his opponents, T-side AWP. It's not like he's a princess AWPer who wants to be posted on angles and waiting for kills to come to him. He can dominate the server and take over, and a crew are going to stand a standard chance of being competitive here in the series. We're going to need to see Ataraxia right up at his top level.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will be a paramount thing for this team to see Ataraxia playing well. Also feels like Deco needs to potentially match on that rifling prowess. It is something that's going to be really quite scary on this MIBR side now. I think that, yes, although we've thrown a couple of criticisms in there, this team should still be individually the stronger force at the end of the day. And I think that, there's a good deal to deal with here on that crew side of things. They will potentially need a few of the stars to align. One of the nice things, as we mentioned, as you see this sort of first map come out as well, is the fact that the veto will work in their favor. It's not like either team is going to have to pull out a few weird bans, maps that they're both uncomfortable on, obviously going to get removed, but they share a lot of the uncomfortable maps. They share a lot of the confident maps. So I think in that sense, on the crew side, on the underdog side, it should help their case somewhat, right? The results are going to be sort of skewed a little bit on the MIBR side of things. They've actually got a good number of wins racked up against that international opposition. Yeah,
I think in the same breath, though, when you do have, as the underdog, your strengths overlap with the favorites in terms of your map pool, can actually make it more difficult for you as well, because now you're playing against the favorites on maps that they're incredibly comfortable on. So if you are going to be competitive or win a map here as crew, you're going to have to do it on hard mode. It's not like you get a punish pick. Obviously, in best of ones, that tends to be the case, and that's just very good for MIBR in general. Now that they've made the roster change, they can ban 3 maps out, so it's like they can really just narrow it down to maps that they're more comfortable with here after adding Lukowski.
Yes, it is very true. It is very true. I think you raise a good point in the fact that we can try and give a little bit across the crew, but it's not really going to be that easy for them. We just kind of want to see a game out from them, I think, ultimately.
Yes.
This season of ECL, it's still growing in South America, this amount of teams, and unfortunately it means that there are a few lopsided matchups. Pain have obviously been absolutely farming, but there are quite a few of those top-heavy teams that have really been demolishing the rest of the opposition. As you can kind of see from the predictions as well, I think it does make a lot of sense here. And this is one of the things, like Neo and I have been doing a few SA games. Very rarely do we differ on the desk, on the booth, as it were. So this is going to be another case of that, I think, here, Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love to be a contrarian, love to just try and throw some spice in there, go with the opposite prediction as my co-caster to try and create a little bit of a narrative in that regard. But I also need to try and present a bit of a sane perspective and outlook in the world, right? Can't be going too crazy with it. And I think in a game like this, picking crew over MIBR really would just be for comical effect. If you genuinely believe that, you'd have to cook pretty hard to actually come up with a conceivable way as to why you would pick crew over MIBR. I don't have it in me, mate. I don't have it in me. So it's going to have to be MIBR from the both of us.
Yeah, definitely. I think it makes sense. Yeah, we're just always here for the Counter-Strike, and, this South American region can often get a little bit crazy. I don't think that teams like Pain, 9Z, MIBR, even Imperial to a certain extent, really play the same Counter-Strike here as they do at a Pro League or indeed at a Rio against, the international competition. So, yeah, we're always in for a good fun time when it comes to these types of games. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for Crew, though. Like, the odd occasion that I have caught this team, I do like the way that they tend to play. I think that they, as we've mentioned, have a couple of fun players. It just feels like beyond that level, there is a bit of a drop-off, and they lack a deeper sense of firepower, really, as a squad. And maybe the team is there for Argentina. Obviously, a couple more Argentinian teams creeping in to the South American ECL for sure, but just the scene in general. Unfortunately, the majority of them just sort of struggling a little bit. Like Bestia do look good, but not quite. When it comes to playoff contention, generally speaking, they don't quite bring the A game that can compete against the Brazilians. But maybe this season they can, because they have actually had a really hot regular season, as it were. I'm just obviously curious to see how that goes into the BO3s next week.
Yeah, naturally. I feel like Bestia have actually they've done really well for themselves. Of course, Deco from Crew was previously a part of that Bestia roster. But yeah, I think with a team like Crew, you kind of got to look at them through a very sober, relative lens of them making the playoffs would be regarded as a success, right? That's kind of probably would have been the goal for them coming into the season. And any more damage done thereafter that's just like gravy on top, right? And you want to always put up your best performance and show that level. But either way, the game is ready. Nuke is afoot, and we're going to be jumping into the first map or the first game of this back-to-back best-of-1 clash here between MIBR and Crew. Scruv, it's fantastic to be alongside you, mates, and I can't wait to share this game with you.
Yes, sir. Same to you. Same to you. I'm looking forward to it, and I do hope that we get a delivery of a game here. MIBR, the favourites. Yes, you may well call them clear favourites, but we shall see at this point whether the Crew side can match up. Unfortunately, losing out on that knife round as well, so MIBR will get the choice of that stronger side, Nuke, as I think there was a little bit of a change at one point, but for the most part, this has been the CT-sided map. Riggy will open up for a couple, though, in all fairness. Ramp's going a little crazy over here. He's still alive, still looking for a few heads as well. They're trying to give him the fight that he desires, but he can't quite land the shots. Here it comes, though, with the support coming from the side. They will finally fall to the Glock once again. He continues the damage. He's looking for the ace. He's denied at the very last second. It will be down to Ataraxia to try and retrieve this heroic 4K. He comes in from an unknown position, though.
Oh man, round slows down. Bit of a guessing game at this point. He knows that Safe was somewhere around ramp, but now he's trying to figure out how he's repositioned himself. Bomb recovered for Ataraxia, and he's made the perfect read. Great call. As he continues to just make his way through and towards lobby, he's going to avoid Safe, and this now flips the script. This now makes the round a whole lot more difficult for the Brazilian. Ataraxia's got the edge. He's going to get onto the A-bomb side, plant for free, and the post-plant position of his choice, P250 Kevlar. He's got everything he needs right now to lock this one in.
Yeah, certainly gone strange towards the tail end. I don't rightly know what happened there with the bomb being recovered. I think Safe just did not consider this route at all. Ataraxia does also have to make the right guess. However, he's going to turn around at the worst possible time. There was a spin, but Safe confirms the frag. MIBR will steal the pistol. He gets a 4K of his own. His is going to have full impact. Riggy, unfortunately, just did not have that one more kill, that one bit of support, and it will cost him.
Oh, man, yeah, quad kill v quad kill. Safes is the one that will prevail, and as you say, carry the weight. I think that Crew kind of, they would have had their tails up throughout the entirety of that pistol round, constantly trading favorably. I thought Riggy did a fantastic job to just stay alive for as long as he does that ramp as well, even after finding those initial kills, isolating the jewels, and then staying alive long enough for his teammate to come through. And unfortunately, Ataraxia or Reverso, whoever that first responder was, wasn't really able to affect the situation all that much. And so MIBR really chasing the round, you know, just trying to react to everything that was going on. And I feel like actually do a pretty good job of just keeping composure in that round there with as much going on as there was. And now they get a reward. Even though there was a bomb plant for the T side and the pistol they lose, they're still going to settle for the save.
Yeah, which is actually somewhat of a rarity, to be honest. You see a lot of teams go in for that second round force buy. I do seem to remember, though, saying that, kind of coming back to me a little bit. When I did catch these guys, it was in the IESF qualifiers representing Argentina. They seem to be very, very conservative with their economy compared to, again, yes, the general Counter-Strike professional scene. A lot of teams would force it, but especially compared to South America, where usually they love a force, you know, even if they are on low money or if it doesn't quite make sense. If they can get one or two illils out, they'll often go for it. Safe is straight into the AWP here. Maybe expecting them to go for the eco, so it must be a tendency that's kind of known. He looks good, but this is the real Counter-Strike now.
Yeah, here we go. And it's actually a very good opportunity for Crew as well, right? Because they're going to play against 4 MP9s and an AWP as well. You know, as far as gun rounds go, big advantage for the AKs coming into this. But like you say, Safe looking pretty crispy with it. I know that those are anti-eco kills. Doesn't really matter with the AWP, though. Still just shooting someone at range. And look pretty quick with some of those shots. So that's a bit of a scary prospect potentially here for Crew. Either way, they're going to spin up the pace here, immediately pressuring into the A bomb site. They dump some utility initially, settle for a moment, but I think the move will continue to be made here.
Nothing coming through the smoke. It is just the outside presence here for Crew, trying to send a man in, and I think he's really the only game plan, as it were. Slightly later outside smokes as well to potentially send him down. So they do have a setup. They do have something planned on the Crew side of things. It just feels like it's moving quite slowly here.
Okay, well, yeah, towards ramp pressure. Mounting spray, not great there from Deco. Drop not going to fall back all the way, at least not initially. Continues to just be a little bit of a menace here with the MP9, inflicting more damage and buying more time for his teammates to rotate across. Crew have kind of been denied here at ramp and may actually have to reassess and try go back elsewhere. Could try and fall back on laser here in hut, but the problem is MIBR haven't over-rotated. They've still got players in position, and there's a tiny little bait and switch setup being employed as well.
Yeah, this looks good. They are quite low, but taking that super healthy player, now it flips onto the T side. Reversive does well to pre-fire out. Not a lot of time here, though, with only 20 seconds left on the clock. A good catch from Drop. Comes up the ramp at the perfect time. Down to just Reversive now. Can't get it done. It's actually the AWP at range to take him. Listen, man, 1 or 2 well-landed bullets there in the end could have really turned that one in favor of Crew. They just got caught with the fact that I think they were rushing towards the end because of the lack of time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really fault them. Try go towards ramp, Drop denies them. They have to reassess the situation. That was a good decision to try and push through ramp and go hell. If Drop doesn't get that kill on the player going up the ladder, then that round could actually look very different all of a sudden. I'm not sure if anybody was considering that on the A bomb site. So, yeah, big impact coming through from Drop in that round. Opening kill and that key frag as well. And MIBR going to be very happy with the start they've been able to piece together. Look at the weapons they've got now, man. They've got 3 AKs, an AWP, and an M4. They came into that round with 4 MP9s and an AWP. So, problems compounding pretty quickly for Crew at the moment. Of course, not live right now, if anybody was wondering.
Does feel that way. Hopefully get ourselves sorted in the not too distant future. I think that big play South America. Servers can sometimes go a bit sideways. I don't know if you saw the big news, but X was unbanned, or I still call it Twitter.
Oh!
But, yeah.
I do too. Yeah, me too.
But
I didn't actually see that it was unbanned in Brazil. That's pretty cool, honestly. I'm really happy to hear that. I've been missing our Brazilian friends on social media, so good to have them back.
Yeah, we can get some solid updates out of Rio now as well. So
yes,
whoever's made that decision must be a Counter-Strike fan.
Avoid. Yeah, fair enough. Just in time, as you say. I saw that it was like a 9,000 per day fine for using X in the country, so that's quite a hefty fine, man. Probably enough to stop me from going ahead and finding a workaround.
Indeed. But yeah, so there you are. Things shifting, and it would seem our server
what you're saying
here...
is my engagements are going to go up.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully. Yeah. after kind of, you know, saying thanks on broadcast. You know where to find us, I suppose. But yes, the server's back on quite quickly. That's good as well.
Yes.
Safe does manage to find the first through the smoke, but they have dropped down the vent successfully. Bomb plant going to come in way ahead of time. They're going to have a good 10 to 15 seconds bought here just by the fact that MIBR really were not in position for this one. And they are right to think that there's a few T's lurking about in difficult spots. Safe misses the shot. P250 will find it. That's a big deal. So no damage coming in as yet. And of course, Crew, they need a kill or two before the retake fully gets going, because it's going to be difficult to hold on to this site against the stronger weaponry. Ataraxia, nice frag for him on the backside. He keeps it coming. Laser up close. He's dropped one. Found himself an AK. Does now have to clutch up against two more. Can't get it done, but there's no time. Just enough of a slowdown from Ramp, and they will steal the round.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head there in terms of how far away MIBR actually were to commit and even just get in a position to make the retake happen. That extra 15 almost felt like 20 seconds before they were able to really start to pressure the bomb site made a huge difference, and just well played from Crew. You know, that first player Ramp, just buying time with Safe, and then Laser at the threshold there as well. Maybe not getting kills, but just staying alive long enough there, making life difficult for MIBR. And they're going to drop their first round to pistols. That is a huge reprieve, a massive let-off here for Crew. That could kickstart their campaign here in the first half.
Very, very possible. We'll see if they can springboard themselves. Safe looking to continue his fragging ways. A pretty incredible game from him thus far. I hadn't even noticed, but 11-1.
Yeah.
Break on the smoke as well from Insani. So this looks a lot better from MIBR. They start off well. They've done a good amount of chip damage. So, fantastic start for them.
Dropper's the only player towards this lower bomb site right now, though. I mean, he knows that for a fact Ramp is safe, so he puts himself in a very strong position on top of the silo, on top of the bomb site. But there's going to be so much pressure mounting on him at a moment's notice. Reversing shooting the windows, that will pull the attention away from Decon. Drop's desperately going to be calling for some support right now. Can he get at least a frag? Well, Safe is the one who will, and that allows the Drop to not only survive, but thrive.
Yeah, looking good. Riggy the only one to have traded back, and Safe will find him through the door, I believe. Either way, MIBR right back to their winning ways, not taking their foot off the gas. And the difficult thing as well that I always bring up is that Crew have just won the low buy round. It's a very different way of approaching the game. It therefore can catch your opponents off. I think that's kind of what happened to MIBR. It was more like MIBR lost that round rather than Crew winning it. Like, Crew obviously did well with the opportunity presented to them, but MIBR, as soon as the rifles come back out, are right back on. That's a really, really good sign for me. Just hanging out on the pistols at the moment. Not much in it. Safe still on that AWP, can battle against these Deagles. So, kind of a slow roll. Sure. Oh, Safe! Okay. God damn, that's one of the wall bangs. That is certainly one of the wall bangs of all time. Very clean find. And just kind of goes to show that maybe indeed the Counter-Strike gods do have favorites shining down on Safe at the moment. For sure. So Crew, as I was in the middle of saying, don't really have too many options, and not really sure how they're going to get themselves into this round now that they are a man down. Continue to struggle to see how they will get themselves in.
Mic check.
35
1, 2.
seconds left on the clock here. Oh. Drop will manage to take down one. A second for him as well. Looking good. The Eagles can't really find anything. The USB will eventually get it done. It is just Riggy remaining.
Just want to check in if you got me again, Mr. Scrub.
Yes, you are indeed
right.
back in. You know,
Okay,
not a bad
apologies
round
about
to
that.
miss, sir. Nothing really went down.
Yeah, I just had a weird crash on my laptop. Sounded like I just walked into like a heavy metal concert or something like that, and then all of a sudden blue screen. So just certainly did keep things interesting. Either way, I'm back and hopefully here to stay. 5-1 MIBR. They're back after losing to an Eco. Clearly cleaned the gun round up straight afterwards. Safe is 14-1 right now. Is he going to be calling in like a AC 130 or an EMP soon? Man, he's got a hell of a kill streak behind him.
Yeah, it's possible. It is very, very possible. I think. What was AC 130? Was it 11 in Modern Warfare?
I think it was 11. Apache helicopter was at 10. The chopper gunner.
Yeah.
15 for EMP. 25 for Nuke.
Yeah, definitely 25 for Nuke. That can never be forgotten. I think I only maybe got like 1 or 2.
As long as you got one, mate, that's all that mattered.
It's true. It's true. I wasn't the best player back in the day. Counter-Strike brought that out of me, and even then, still fair to crap, you know.
And here we are talking about the game. That's matters either way. Fight's been taken outside through the smoke. Okay, Riggy will best, and Sani drops gone down ramp as well. This is looking like the best constructed round we've seen from Crew so far. Fight's been taken outside, working for them. Besting drop ramp, getting ready for Lukowski in towards Vent. Just winning out some key gunfights there. A lot going on in that round for MIBR to also just try and contain. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them.
It's a good change. It's a very good change. Crew, obviously, half by round not really included, have been playing quite slow. Definitely in the gun rounds. Kind of just winding the clock down and going for sort of a lurk play outside around the smokes. Try and throw some confusion in there. And I think maybe it gives a bit too much room for MIBR to gather some information or read the game or come up with an idea of how to get into Crew's backyard. This round, very, very different. Crew, they change up the pace. They go aggressive and they're able to find success with it. Mr. Exit is living up to his namesake at the moment, and he does indeed look for a couple of exits, and he will get them. So, not a bad end result for him. Money doesn't matter. If he goes down there, it doesn't matter. But taking guns away from Crew is actually a really big deal.
Yeah, definitely will have some lingering impact here now in terms of their economy. But they'll just be happy to get another round on the board with the way that MIBR have come out the gate swinging. You know, if you're the underdog coming into a game like this, you really want to start strong, and that's challenging. T-side Nuke. Things have to really go well for you if you are going to have that strong start. I'm thinking 4 rounds. No, I don't even think 4 is going to be enough, honestly, with MIBR looking as good as they are on the side. I think that 5 here for Crew is probably what they need, and even then, that's obviously a very short order. Winning this round here would go a good step in the right direction, but there's still plenty of cash for MIBR as well, so not like Crew are going to get any easy rounds anytime soon. Love this from Lukowski. He's certainly in his skill set, looking to make some moves and take some space.
Yeah, absolutely. Also got Insani on the edge of the proceedings in towards Secret, gathering a lot of info over there. May well just keep going, so keep your eyes on that mini-map for the time being. There you go, he's going to find the outside player from the east side as well. Meanwhile, the main crux of the attack is also being flattened. 4 on 2, very quickly. Crew don't really have much room to work with. Yes, a little bit of ramp, but what can you really do? There's 2 players downstairs ready and raring to go. This was the dynamic duo as well that we spoke of. Lukowski and Insani ready to defend with their lives if need be. Lukowski creeping forwards, drops that bomb, looking for the next, and will get it in midair. That is one way to get yourself on the server. Maybe a slightly quieter game from him, not been required, but he stepped up massively there.
Yeah, that's classic Lukowski as well, just leaping into the angle like that. He's sporadic, he's volatile, he's a live wire, probably a pretty good word to use to describe him. 6'2". MIBR just doing a really good job here of making sure Crew can't get any momentum. Constantly winning around after Crew win their round, just deprives them of being able to build up any head stealing on this T side, and again condemns them into eco territory. So MIBR with a great chance here to lock in a half win at the bare minimum inside 9 rounds.
Does certainly feel that way, and maybe going with our narrative of this one, hoping for a game out from Crew, but at the moment we've not really seen a great deal from them. One nice rifle round is all that has really gone down here, unfortunately. Oh. They land the tag. It's a little dangerous. There's a lot of pistols going his way. He does have some backup, it looks like, so not quite able to isolate him in the way that they wanted. And with a player downstairs, this one... Okay, I didn't even get the words out. I was going to say this one feels like a done deal, but maybe after that kill, not so much.
Yeah, Drop not able to get his words out either, man. Just has his head torn off by that Tech-9. Where's the bomb? Oh, the bomb's outside. The bomb's in hell. That's unfortunate. Lovely. Great that they've got B-side control, but can't do much with it just yet. And now, how much do you commit to trying to get the bomb? Do you want to keep someone on the B-bomb side so you can maintain that control? Or do you just focus all your resources on recovering the bomb and then risk giving up the site itself? I mean, MIBR are not going to make a move right now. Crew are just posted up hoping that there's a bit of a player who goes venturing. Bukowski is going to have to fake the boy. Flash is really good, actually. So they could be in some trouble here. Up close and personal with Tech-9. Certainly give him some confidence. And my goodness, Safe is 18-2. I don't know if he's got somewhere to be right now, but he's just steamrolling through. 18 kills? Wow.
Yeah. Insane. Insane. He is definitely playing like the rent is due, man. This is out of this world for sure, but yeah, it ultimately feels like it should be enough as well, this kind of form, this kind of level. If he can keep hitting it, he's really in the money. Timeout coming in here from Crew, of course. Generally a pretty CT-sided team. Always take those kind of stats with a pinch of salt, but they have a fair amount of reps on this map, so I think it does matter for them. Therefore, their mindset will be like, okay, if we can hit like 4 rounds, just like comfortable 4, should be enough for us to work with. Maybe, yes, it puts some pressure on the pistol, but let's just get to a round workable number, and then we can focus on that CT side.
I mean, as the underdog, you just want to be competitive, right? Half by half, round by round kind of thing. If you make it 8-4, it's like, all right, yeah, we're still in this. That's what matters right now. We're still in the game. Just kind of keep yourself in a chip away. Either way, let's get back into the action here. 2 certainly not going to cut the mustard for Crew. We're going to need more than that. And I feel like it has to start with the gun round here. Otherwise, this half slips away very quickly.
Oh my goodness. They have picked up the pace on the MIBR side, though. Classic timeout answer, you know, go for some aggression, ruin their day, ruin their plans. They've obviously talked things over here. This is the first time we're seeing the L smokes from them. It is something different for Crew, but they are having to do it a man down. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, as you say, just a really good timing on the disruption there from MIBR to force the issue like they do. And that's just going to funnel them straight into the monster. Say, posted on the angle. He's not missing a beat right now. He's going to find a frag. He's going to hang around. And that's because he's got a teammate here as well. Exit lies in wait, but Ricky has his wits about him. He doesn't just charge straight through because he's killed Safe. And that's some good awareness. There is going to be a player who's already closing the door in on them. A bomb plant in itself would be very nice for Crew, and it looks like they ordered that. Bukowski, who was tracking and tracing, eventually is able to activate. Ricky, where's the bomb? Oh, the bomb was dropped by Reversive. He's gone searching with the C4, and that means Ricky gonna have to just kind of venture into this clutch in an ideal way now, hunting for these kills. It's yeah, in the back of his mind to try and pick up that bomb. MIBR not offering the fight. Bukowski on the stairs is gonna get stepped on, but will still come out on top of the duel.
It was close. It was definitely close. There is some luck there for MIBR. It's shining down upon them, but also creating their own luck. Just, I think, with how they have played some of these situations. Feels like a pretty close one for Crew. The unfortunate reality of it is if they did not lose out that initial pickup, we may well have had a much closer clutch situation, but there it goes. So, yeah, a few fundamental issues for Crew letting them down. Back down to another low buy. This is what I was talking about as well. When you look at like the money spent and the money that could have been available, there was a couple of AKs potentially in this, and a lot of teams in this region would have gone for that kind of a buy, but Crew opt not to do so. 2 dinks landed with the Tech-9s. No finishes quite yet. Therefore, the rotations are able to come in and assist. Again, a little unlucky on their initial exchanges, but MIBR continues streaking.
Yeah, small detail, but I like that Insanity just phases through the mini smoke there to join up with his teammates on the A-bomb site. Actually just force himself into the fight, join up and pad the defense. And yeah, we've noticed a couple times now where Crew have maybe overextended with the bomb in some situations where it's actually cost them quite heavily. Just going back to that round where Ataraxia does go through the double doors with the bomb. I'm not sure if that was a miscom there where he didn't realize he actually had the bomb when he dies. Anyway, 9-3, the best that Crew could do from here. What's the plan going to be? It feels like this is a must-win gun round, Struve. Otherwise, I reckon it's map over in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Safe opening up cleanly is not what you wanted. If you are a Crew fan, Lukowski through the smoke. Insult to injury, and Crew once again having to perform from the back foot. Really not nice here.
Yeah. Laser with just the one kill. Deco with one frag to his name as well. That is not the half they would have been hoping for coming into the series. Will complete the ward of smokes, and also spotted two. Can't frag either just yet. At least he's got some info there to relay through to his teammates though. Problem is they don't have any smoke grenades left remaining, so it feels like they'll actually have to use these smokes, and they do indeed cross into secret. No response just yet from MIBR. Lukazi gets all the info in the world though that they have actually committed into this lower bomb site. Gotta be a reaction. You can see two players from the CTs desperately trying to make their way down the ramp, and of course Crew don't know that secret is uncontested right now, so they're still taking their time going through the motions. Oh, safe. Always in the right place at the right time, man.
Yeah, the game right now. Yeah, and there it is. There it is. As if by magic. He proves your point exactly. 22-3. I mean, that's got to be up there for one of the better halves of individual Counter-Strike that we've had since 2's come about, to be honest. Deco will drop him, so he stays at that for the half, but the round itself, of course, has surely got to be over here. A desperate attempt. Exit does take a lot of Molotov damage. He's actually up to deny this bomb plant, so yeah, we'll be able to take him out. That'll be that. That'll be the half. The double digits for MIBR should be enough to win with. We will catch you in a few.
"22 frags is what Safe was able to amass in that first half. You add up the numbers for Crew across the board, Scrub, 22. Safe matches the entirety of Crew in that first half in terms of kill count. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, that paints enough of a picture, doesn't it? Maybe even like only 10 rounds is not enough for a stat line like that, but ultimately MIBR have, for our money, won this game out in the first half. Maybe Crew can do the miracle comeback. They do indeed happen, but it is going to be tough, and at this point, we can't really give them that eventuality. There's a little bit of aggression towards ramp. Doesn't result in any frags, but they have taken a lot of control down here. Laser gets chased down by the herd, run over by the flying Insani. Drop, meanwhile, holding upstairs to catch a lurk if he can. I don't think he's... Oh, okay, it doesn't matter. Ataraxia, I figured was going to be down the vent real fast. Not the case. Deco loses his head, and they are all over the place. Crew are majorly disjointed here. Going to be difficult to mount this retake. I think it's safe to say they have like no control of anywhere. It's just all over the place right now. Maybe the Julies of Ataraxia can get back in, but there's not a lot of time to do so. So it really is a challenge to get anything going. But pistols, they can swing quickly. Oh, I thought maybe the Julies would be in. Unfortunately not. And MIBR just continuing with that regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, safe. Another multi-kill coming through for him. He's now up to 24. It's unfortunate for Crew there. I mean, MIBR just steamrolled the pistol round, charging through ramp into the B bomb site, not pulling any punches. And then they go even further than I was expecting by opening up the decon door and pressuring. It actually looked like a moment when Drop started pushing from lobby through Hudson to A. I thought for a second MIBR might be considering going back up the vent into the A bomb site. They decide to pull the plug on that after Drop eventually finds some resistance, which was the right decision. Just keep it simple. You've got full B-side control, plant the bomb, and then they just continue to disrupt the retake. Like you mentioned, they're getting in the faces of Crew, never really allowing them to settle into the retake and try and figure out how they're going to go about their business. And Crew have now gone for the force. Personally, Scriv, keen to get your take on this, but I think an eco here is better. I don't think there's a huge difference between 211 and 212, and I always want to get at least one full gun round in the half, personally. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I think I'd maybe be inclined to agree. I don't know. I think there's also the fact that when there's so many rounds down, they probably feel that winning out the first few rounds is ultimately going to be down to like RNG or, you know, a directive change like what we've just seen there from Ataraxia getting aggressive. So I think it's also the fact that, yes, they might be able to get a full rifle, but that one round, if you do manage to mount the comeback as well, can be a lot of breathing space. You know, imagine they win 7 in a row here, and then MIBR finally win one, but you've just done 7 in a row, right? Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's fair enough. I feel like you can make a case for both sides kind of thing. Either way, MIBR in a very good position. However, I say that Crew have actually got 3 players in towards the lower bomb site, so they're actually very well set up to deal with what's coming their way. Oh, the trap will now be sprung. Lukazi with his wits about him and exits frag laser. That's so unfortunate for Crew. They would have felt like they had a great setup there, but oh my goodness, MIBR just not missing a beat at the moment.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable stuff. Again, I expected this to be MIBR's map. They have had some really good results against Heroic, against Spirit at EPL, just sort of off the top of my head. So it does make sense that they have a really solid nuke, but surprising that Crew have not been able to really give us anything as well. I was hoping that they would knock on the door to double digits, and also, yeah, quietly hopeful that they would be able to contest in some of the rounds, and it's not really been the case. Oversight from MIBR had them losing a half buy, and then the wild pace change, which again is a sort of catch-off gotcha kind of round, is what Crew have been able to get. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I mean, sure, they've done well to win those 2 rounds in isolation, but we haven't really seen anything, like I say, very sustainable out of Crew, and I'm right there with you. We're kind of billing and hoping for a competitive performance from Crew here in this game. It's been anything but that, unfortunately. And now, well, they've got to empty their pockets once again. MP9 to UMP Desert Eagle to try and stave MIBR off. But they've got a bit of pep in their step right now. There's going to be some moves made here from Deco. MIBR may not expect this as early as it's coming through right now. Oh, and there we go. Lukazi with his knife out. This is looking good here from Crew.
Yeah, changing things a little bit. As we sort of mentioned, they prefer the CT side fairly heavily. Safe looking good.
Whoa!
Safe looking very good. Okay, it's Drop that finds them here, but still, they've managed to recover the round back out of nowhere. Down goes Drop. Surely enough done, though, and indeed it is. So after a great start from Crew in that round, an opportunity to maybe talk things over, it all of a sudden just completely fell apart, and MIBR looking pretty unstoppable here on Nuke. Yeah, that's a almost perfect game of Counter-Strike coming in from them, and particularly in from Safe.
Yeah, absolutely. A masterclass from Safe, and MIBR at large going to be very happy with what they were able to get done on Nuke. Just thinking about that last round, man, like they get into a 5v3, goes really well with the lobby crunch initially. There was no need to just keep pushing through in T-Spawn and trying to force all the fights there, right? You could have just picked up a couple of AKs and prioritized the bomb sites themselves, and I think that's probably just a bit of a reflection of the current mental state of Crew at the end of Nuke, which is understandable.
Yeah, I think so for sure. They kind of needed that CT side. I think we obviously saw a lot more comfortability in just kind of getting aggressive in making plays on that CT side. They just didn't have the room to do it in terms of the rounds, you know, especially losing out that pistol really removed any kind of comeback potential for me personally. We do have the player to watch here. Check in a little bit with how Lukowski was doing. I think it'll be interesting to see where he was at. Not a bad game at all, but just obviously overshadowed by Safe. One thing I might say is that Lukowski started slower. You know, I think had a few rounds on that CD side where they just didn't come at him. And then once he started getting those opportunities, he's obviously taken them and run. So that's good to see, because as I said in the pre-show, he has had a few quiet games with MIBR since joining.
Yeah, I think he had a couple impactful rounds, particularly in that first half with the M4. I think about the flank from Secret and, you know, the one-kill jump around corner with the M4 kind of thing. Some good setups and just, yeah, really well-polished performance there from MIBR. And that does mean our first game of the day is done and dusted. We've got another best of one between these two teams coming up. It's going to be Ancients. Hopefully the change of scenery bodes well for Crew. We're going to have a short little intermission here. When we come back, it is going to be that next map. Well, we've arrived at the second best of one a little bit sooner than what we would have anticipated, and that's because it was a demolition job on Nuke from MIBR, and Safe in particular. I think he dropped like 24 kills in a 13-2 victory, so he had a absolutely massive game on Nuke. Now, based on what we saw, we probably don't hold out a huge amount of hope for Crew, but a different map, could that bring some new opportunities for them, Scriv?
I think potentially. Yeah, man, just the way that they performed, MIBR look like a really, really formidable force here, unfortunately. I don't think that we've necessarily had like the veto out or anything like that, but we did mention in the previous map that it is going to be Ancient here for the second outing. Yeah, Nuke is supposed to be Crew's kind of best map as well. This maybe comes in at a close second. You could argue between Dust 2, which is sort of never going to happen for them. But if Nuke is supposed to be the best map, I think the point I'm making here is that they are going to struggle into the Ancient as well, right? Where it's not quite as comfortable for them. This is a map that MIBR, I would say, have maybe not made as much of a name for themselves on, just because Nuke, like we mentioned at Pro League, I believe they played it like 4 times in total, picked up 3 wins, and did very, very well on it. This is one that was 50-50 for them. Maybe they do better with it domestically, you could argue, and that's why it's kind of boosting the stats. So, you know, when you get it under the microscope, it's not quite as good as the Nuke, you could argue, but I just think this will allow an opportunity for those individuals that we saw already performing very, very well to just start pugging once again, you know, and really just fly through. Ancient moves a lot faster, and then, of course, on a CT side, you can just have so much aggression. So I think that they will really look to just control this game, especially given the performance on Nuke. They know that they can do it, right? I don't think they're going to be scared of this Crew team at all now.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think normally if you just dominated a game the way MIBR have, you're quite happy to start on the T side of a map so you can continue to dictate the pace. I think on a map like Ancient, they actually won't really mind because, as you just mentioned, CT side, you can continue to also make quite aggressive plays, you know, contest middle, contest lane, ramp, constantly get in the faces of your opponents. So I think that Crew will still have a very difficult time of it. And I want MIBR to come out the gate swinging here and look to play that bullying style of Counter-Strike, just to try and keep Crew you know, in this rough position, because they know mentally that they're going to be quite vulnerable right now after what just happened on Nuke.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that there is a lot of question marks around what's going to happen here. Sometimes you can see as well just a complete 180 in performance. That's sort of the beauty, I think, maybe of the BO1 system here, is there is less pressure map to map. You know, if they'd lost Nuke and it was their pick, they would probably be really, really uncomfortable. But we are, of course, into the game here. We do see Crew out on this CT side. Didn't see really anything of their CT side on Nuke, and I would go to bat for them as a CT-sided team. And they start off well. The USP of Deco will find the first head. There's a bit of a hold-off here as well into Red Room. It feels like MIBR got the control they were after, but it's a trap as Crew are set up and ready to eliminate.
We've seen a couple disadvantageous situations being won out by MIBR, and Crew absolutely can't afford for this to be another one chalked up in that tally. 5 versus 3, full control of this pistol round. MIBR are going to have to reassess the situation, and it looks like they're going to try and go back up and towards B, but Ataraxia with a smart jump peek there does spot them out, so at least he's got the info. And MIBR, well, it's going to group up now and try and charge their way forward. Nice shot from Reversive to really seal the deal if the smoke doesn't, and everything just looking pretty damn good right now for Crew.
Drop does get that trade back. Maybe there is a path to A. Riggy is hidden away in the donut. If he goes down, they could get that plant, which would be a nice silver lining. Going to make a lot of noise here, though. They have the right idea. Riggy just sort of hiding away. Drop was ready. Does land the headshot. Must have just been out of range. And Riggy capitalizes to find the final couple of kills there. That is very unfortunate for Drop, because he was super, super aware. Just, I don't know, was it just outside the range? Maybe through a wall in the head rather than a clean headshot. Makes all the difference, and no bomb plant for MIBR.
Yeah, well done from Crew, able to win out those initial gunfights and then just contain MIBR, just react and respond to what MIBR do to try and get themselves back in the round, constantly just keeping them at bay. Now, not really allowing for them to gain any traction. Feels like MIBR just wheel split their way through that pistol round, and they're going to force buy here, despite the fact that they don't get a plant in the pistol that they lose. Trying to answer back immediately afterwards, and I don't mind this. I don't mind the confidence being shown right now by MIBR. See what they can do here. Lack of utility, not great amount of firepower, and they're going to lose that first player. Lukowski wants to pick up the pieces, and he does find a good kill to go away and opening up the speed bomb side.
This is a mess right now. They will fake out the bomb plant, then go in for the hold on the bomb plant. So yeah, this is very, very confusing, I think, from both sides. Really quick headshot, but immediately traded out. M4 going to be picked up by Safe. Obviously, he's just had an incredible game over at Nuke, so maybe if he can tap into a bit of that magic. Speaking of though, Lukowski's managed to find his way in behind, and he will take down one. There's a kid available, just been dropped. Ataraxia will get it back. They know exactly where Safe is at, and the sound cues followed to take him down through the smoke. Defuse will come in. MIBR though, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, pretty well played from them. I don't think there's anything MIBR could have done better in that situation. I even liked how the cave player continues to spam the smoke there with the M4, just try and take the attention away from Lukowski. That's what allows him to wrap around long, pushing through the smoke that his teammate was spamming. Kind of just sells a bit of a fake there. And I was wondering if we'd see MIBR continue to invest after they get the bomb plants and inflict some economic damage, but looks like they will just settle for the Hero AK. Now, I'm happy with that. I'm a huge fan of the Hero AK. I mean, MIBR stacked the kills in terms of their mechanical ability, so having a Hero AK on someone like Lukowski certainly does make a lot of sense.
Yes, absolutely, and this is an area in which MIBR differ greatly from Crew, is the fact that they will take these risks, and they may well be able to get them to pay off as well. So I'm also a fan of it, especially early on in a game. Ataraxia from behind. It's a two-man move, in fact. They'll drop that bomb, so plans may already have fallen apart. Team kill is not nice to look at. I don't think it will have too much of an effect in the long term. We'll see what Drop can get done on this MP9 he's now retrieved. So there you go. Maybe it does have an effect in the long term. 1v2 all of a sudden.
Yeah, you take this as MIBR. I mean, the first goal would have been economic damage, the second a bomb plant, the third obviously the round at large, but been able to at least check that first objective off the list with 3 kills. Didn't think Drop would ever be able to find another frag with that MP9. You couldn't get a wider swing if you tried, and I guess that's what made the difference. Exit now just creeping his way the entire way around with the Desert Eagle. Does Laser consider this? Because Exit, I mean, he might actually be able to catch this player off guard here if he goes about his business correctly, clears his corners. Laser seems to have his wits about him. This is all about the timing, and timing does not favor him. And there is still some time on the clock here for Exit to navigate this 1v1. Riggy doesn't want to sit by idly, looking to just put himself on an off angle out in the open. Exit still desperately trying to find this fight, and eventually he does. He'll go down to Riggy, but 4 kills for MIBR is a great return in the eco.
Yeah, definitely. They've kept this economy really, really under wraps. You can see Ataraxia, thank goodness he's got some cash. I think otherwise it would be a very rough buy here. Fending off against the first full buy, from MIBR. So, yeah, this is problematic. Crew understand as well. They're in a good position. It is tentative, and it is paramount that they win this one out, because it could immediately slip through their fingers if they don't find this fourth.
At least they've exceeded their round count from Nuke, though.
I suppose.
We take that.
Yeah, that's one good thing about this so far. I'm not holding my breath quite yet, Hayes. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. Keen to see what MIBR are going to cook up here in their first gun round. What's the call going to come through from Captain Exits? I feel like Ancient's been a great map. Like you say, maybe at the highest level of the game, they've tended to teeter a little bit more, but Ancient's has always been very reliable for MIBR. Lukowski's been comfortable on this map as well. Pretty keen to see where he's going to be playing on the CT side. Either way, gun round upon us, and already early mid control being taken by the T side, but there could be some mid round aggression here with the way that the CTs are set up Red Room and Donut, and it looks like they may even try and make a play through Cave reversive. I'm waiting for a flash. There we go. Flash comes through. Insanity fighting with the Donut player. Actually pivots to take down reversive. Exit gets in on the act as well, and that's a man advantage for MIBR.
It's gone a bit crazy once again, it would seem. Ataraxia goes searching with the orb and somehow is able to survive and take another shot, but eventually drops down. Laser getting ahead of the Molotov here could potentially deny some crossings. The bomb is actually very late getting to the site itself, but it looks like it is indeed done. I think Deco is probably just going to have to reluctantly save here. MIBR. This is the danger. First rifle round out. They find a nigh-on flawless round as well, depending on what Deco can do here. And as we mentioned, the money for Crew is awful. So MIBR, a really good opportunity here to get their claws in. Yeah,
exactly that. As you kind of set the table coming into this round, if Crew loses gun round, this lead that they have can eviscerate before their very eyes. Deco's position made known. Should never have come out on top of that gunfight. It's really awkward fighting through that little tunnel there, just with the way the walls are shaped. Sometimes, you know, your legs are exposed and you don't really have an angle on the player. I think that kind of worked against Deco in that instance. And now it kind of paints Crew into a bit of an awkward position because it's not like a full save gets them a buy in the next. I think most teams are just forced buy here.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's unfortunately the only kind of option that you have to go for. So, yeah, they're aware, I think, of when to make stronger economic decisions. Lukowski, mind of his own, just goes absolutely flying in towards B. They know that it's bound to be a low buy here, and MIBR are looking to really pick up steam. Yeah, just pure domination in this round thus far. Insani has an idea of presence around the smoke. He would be correct. It's a quick flip there onto Deco. Flawless round comes in. This is very, very scary right out of the gate for MIBR, as Crew have not really been answering since they have picked up the rifles.
Yeah, it can all unravel very quickly, and we're going to be looking forward to those gun rounds to see exactly how Crew are going to be able to contest MIBR. You know, can they go toe-to-toe, fighting for lane, fighting for Jaguar, fighting for mid? Are they going to have to play a bit more of a passive style on the CT side? Definitely looking for more out of Ataraxia and Resolve. I mean, we've seen heaps out of safe so far, but we need an improvement here from Ataraxia. It's going to be numbers in towards mid. I like this option. You got to always go for something out of the ordinary in these sort of full saves.
It is true. Do something creative, and this is most certainly creative. And Sunny will spot most of them around the corner. He does go down, and that is your mission complete, really. That's what you're looking for. Take a gun away and just keep that economy as modest as you possibly can. Your own kill bonus as well. So, yeah, nothing to be expected from that round. So if you give us something, you've exceeded expectations in a sense. We'll see now what Crew are able to cook up with yet another gun round.
Yeah, important here for Crew to just put a stop to this momentum early on for MIBR. Otherwise, we get quite concerned. And I really like the change up here from MIBR. I'm a huge fan of that all-out A play early on in the round. Utility being dumped in. Is there a donut smoke that's going to come through? Perhaps the deep donut smoke, or do they just fight for control? Looks like it's going to be the latter. There are numbers that's arrived on the scene. Ataraxia going through the CT smoke catches MIBR completely off guard. Been able to evade the trade. Bomb has been dropped at the mouth of Donuts as well, so this is going to be pretty difficult for MIBR to recover.
Yeah, I think so. Bomb as well, such a dreadful, dreadful area. They have actually lost track of Safe, though, it would seem. He's done very well to make his way in behind. It looks like Reversive has his eyes on it. Shadow going to be spotted early, so, okay, thank goodness they had considered that. It could have been pretty dreadful exits. Yeah, maybe going to opt to save here. Obviously, plenty of cash in the back pocket, so they don't need the AK. Is there an argument for him to take a gun or two? He's thinking about it, but also it's futile, right? This is obviously going to be impossible, one would assume. He'll go peeking into your line of sight. We'll actually drop him. So maybe they have taken their eyes off the ball ever so slightly. 30 seconds still remain. one low HP player in the mixture. Not going to happen for any more, though. Riggy will take him down, and Crew back in the lead.
Yeah, great effort there from Ataraxia in particular. The playmaker pushing through the CT smoke there, forcing the issue on the A-bomb site, just as MIBR are looking to contest Donut. Just very good timing on the aggression there from Ataraxia, and he really does pull the rug out from underneath MIBR. And we need to see more of those confidence kind of plays from Crew, where they back themselves, their individual level. They read that they have on the round as well. Can't be affording to second guess yourself and go into a shell. So more of that, please, Crew.
Out towards mid, looking to get active. Got a utility raining in across the map. Nice damage onto Reversive. No opportunity for the first frag just yet. So what is the game plan here? Lukowski gets aggressive once again. Ataraxi has found a kill in mid, so they do have to be very careful here, MIBR, if they want to remain hopeful in this round.
Yeah, they've actually got an Exa posted up at the top of their main right now. Safe code searching because Lukazi would have relayed the info that there was someone sort of jiggling capes. Safe post on the angle and very present-minded from him that there could be more potential threats. Ataraxia will falter in position. This is a really important shot there, and that puts Reversive in an awkward position now around the pillar, but he does use the cover well to his advantage, and Drop can't find the trade, so he might actually just try and join up with his captain. Still some time yet to let this round sit and marinade.
Yeah, that feels like sort of what they're doing here. I think they're hoping that in their patience, something will come their way. It's a good read here, actually, that they would make their way down the ramp. It's not fully committed by Crew, but it is expected by MIBR. Down to just Deco. Doesn't know where this second man is. Gets good timing on the first, but yeah, it's all down to Exit, who is late and hasn't made a sound, and it ends up being a very, very easy trade for him in the end. The 1v1 anticlimactic, but MIBR right back in it themselves. So a very back and forth kind of game here. At least Crew are giving a much better fight.
Yeah. Able to go toe-to-toe, exchange blows here with MIBR. Looking at their finances, though, they're going to have to settle for a save. Get $2,400 if they lose this next round, enough for a buy in the next, and a chance for MIBR to get the lead. Good recovery from MIBR. I mean, obviously they weren't really tested on Nuke, able to just kind of demolish and steamroll their opponents here on MIBR. There's a bit more, on Ancient, there's a bit more pushback, and it's good to see that MIBR, even when there is some pushback, are still able to keep their composure. Oh, that's unfortunate for Reversive. Lukazi finishes off what he started with the Flames, and going to continue to take the space here in Jaguar as well. Such a valuable player to have on the team, man. Someone like Lukazi, you know, fearless, really excited by the prospect of gunfights. Not like he needs to be set up. He's just full of confidence.
Feels like a really strong sort of timing player as well, you know, bases his plays off of the conventions, you know, and how players are expected to approach certain moments in a round, certain like 2v2 situations or things like this. And then, yeah, like you say, just completely fearless and ready to go for an aggressive move out of spawn just because he has a good spawn. And that also maybe makes life a bit easier as an IGL, that it's like, I have something I want to do. Do I have permission to do it? And it feels, maybe this is something they've been working on, is how do we work around him? Because I'm sure on Fluxo, he was in the cock of the roost and able to just do whatever he wanted. MIBR, there's a little more going on in this team, actually.
Kind of reminds me, just for an extreme example, was Donk being promoted from Spirit Academy to the main team, and he said in an interview that he had to kind of confer with Chopper a little bit more in terms of trying to make plays. It's not like he could just say from spawn, I'm going to take this fight, I'm going to do this and that. Had to slot into the system a bit more. But it goes both ways, right? As the IGL, as Exit, yeah, with Lukazi, he still wants to enable the rifle and allow for him to do what he's done so well to get to this point. That's a very deep smoke, I'd imagine, unintentionally.
Yeah, maybe a little. Spam through is
nice.
Fully successful. Yeah, really good find, really good follow-up from Laser, actually changing his angles. So Crew get an opener. It's looking competitive once again. There is no kit available here, so we're going to have to try and work something out in the early round. MIBR once again, trying to recover things, but expected. Really well thought out by Riggy, not very well executed, as he will lose his head.
Love that from Insani. Just good searching. Good flash there to get past Donuts initially, and now the pressure mounts on this bomb site later. Forced to expend his util. Very good kill back from Ataraxia, and now Crew can focus all their resources over towards the bomb site. Lucazi is the one who will duel with Laser, and he comes off second best, and reversible slot into place. So all the pieces falling nicely into place here for the CT side. Good wide swing from Laser makes it difficult for Safe to track and trace. And that will be Crew winning a key gun round. Again, like I said on Nuke, it's just about remaining competitive. They just want to keep themselves in the conversation throughout the map. That's what the goal is right now. And they're doing exactly that here on Ancient.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I once again would be very curious to see how things are when it flips over. MIBR, though, their T side generally is a little stronger. So I'm not so sure if they will be able to handle the CT side as well. So we do have sort of a clash of styles here in that sense. Exit to entry, Insani to join him, and Drop also gets into the party here a little. Deco finds one, but it's not really worth anything. It's going to be a save here from Crew, and MIBR have secured at least the 6. Hopefully they can move up in their case to that 7, but this is a really sort of interesting half of inconsistency.
Yeah, I like that around a lot from MIBR. Just kind of roll their sleeves up and back themselves as individuals, pushing into the B bomb site, winning out the key gunfights, just overwhelming Crew. Get the lead here once again. Look at the kill distribution on MIBR, by the way. Everybody between 7 and 8 frags across the board. So a far more team-based performance compared to what we saw from the Safe show. Nothing safe about that. That's okay, Lucazi, I can't make that jump the first time either.
Yeah, tell me about it. It is super awkward, man. Like the little hidden hitbox or whatever.
Yeah, ledges, corners, edges can all be very deceiving in CS2. Sometimes jumps that seem elementary can be made a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, and that is why they most commonly do hit the boost on that spot, you know?
Yeah, just like me for real.
Yeah. What I will say, if you do make it onto the sign cleanly, just kind of staying on that sign, really great angle. Maybe needs to work on the jump ever so slightly. Ooh, Ataraxia breaks the smoke, finds the first onto Insani. A very, what some may consider, risky move there from the AWPer, but it has paid off pretty massively. Flashes his teammate out for another one as well. So it's another great start here from Crew. I've seen them drop maybe 1 or 2 of these, so hopefully at the tail end of the half, they are able to convert this and keep things as even as possible. Lucazi trying to be that danger man, that absolute menace he has been a number of times in this half. Not quite happening for him here. Support is on the way. He does get one, which given his low HP, I think is fair play. Drop gets one of his own. There's a dink back. Riggy's in behind here, though, and this is obviously going to ruin Lucazi's day. So man advantage back in favor of the CT side. Looking good. Down to just exit. He has made it up ahead of time, but all good. Ataraxia there for the trade. 6-6 at the turn of the half here. Let's see if it remains this even in half 2.
I'll be right back.
Sure. Something has certainly changed in the crew camp. They're able to battle back a hell of a lot better. Yes, the pistol may well help them out scoreline-wise, but some substantial rounds in there. As we saw on Nuke, their CT side never got going. Much, much better showing. However, MIBR, of course, able to stay in it. So, in a game where it is difficult to split the teams, the pistols can often be the deciding factor. We'll see how things pan out here. Pretty conventional mid-smoke. A break of said smoke is good for info, not good for frags. Riggy's found the head already actually onto that smoke breaker, as it were, and the A-bomb site left open.
Okay, well, advantage crew now. They're going to be able to lock in the plants. It's going to be a pretty challenging retake for MIBR, just because everyone's coming from CT, one player temple, and as soon as they try and thrust themselves into the bomb site, they run into the combo of Reversive and Ataraxia, 4 versus 2 here, and really no way back into it for MIBR. They're still waiting for this very late flank to come through, but Riggy realizes he doesn't have to activate until the pressure's really being felt by his teammates on the bomb site itself, so everything just going according to plan here for crew to regain the lead, and eventually Riggy will be able to come through with the flank that allows for his teammates to also step into the gunfight, and everything going swimmingly here for the T side.
Fantastic start for crew then. This could be very, very worrying for MIBR, who at this point, yes, are confirmed into the playoffs, but really do need to boost their seed a little, it feels like. Currently sat in 5th behind teams like Bestia and Red Canids. You could even argue Fluxo. They potentially want to be a little higher than that. They could overtake both the aforementioned Bestia and Red Canids, depending on how the next few days go down. But yeah, I think they would want to get the leg up over a team like crew and maybe just boost themselves up ever so slightly. All really scary looking teams in terms of the domestic game at the moment at the top end of the scoreboard.
Yeah, when you look at the table here for season 48, of course, does make a difference where you qualify for the playoffs from. You want to be inside, ideally top 2. You go straight into the upper bracket semi. 3rd to 6th, you're through to the quarters, and then if you're between 7 and 10, you start your playoff run in the lower bracket, which is, if crew are going to make the playoffs, you'd imagine it would be in that lower bracket, so they'll have a very difficult run ahead of them. Just got to focus back up on the round here. So never mind. I'm cooked. Okay, I thought that it was for a second was MIBR who lost the previous round and were 5v3 up, but we've swapped halves, Scriv, and that means crew are on the T side. So I'm caught up to speed once again. But yeah, I mean, MIBR wasn't just about qualifying for the playoffs, right? They wanted to get one of those higher seeds as well. So it's not like they're going to have an ideal berth into the playoffs.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so at this point, unfortunately. As I say, it could happen for them. They definitely can't be affording the loss against crew. Lukazu remains in the corner, hidden away. They seem aware acutely of his position. He'll actually take the fight, win the gun, and potentially get out of here. Not without another scrap, though, it would seem. He should be okay on full HP here. And, of course, yeah, just going to wind that clock down as much as possible. Still going to get through the Mach 10, and he will, but the bomb takes him out. Ataraxia going down to the bomb. Maybe an oversight there from Crew, to be honest. So, MIBR, although they won't be buying into this round, if they can take a gun or two away, are really going to keep that T-side economy under wraps.
Yeah, but I mean, in the same breath, 9-6 for Crew, 4 rounds away from winning here on Ancients and picking themselves up 3 points from this back-to-back best-of-1 little soiree with MIBR. They'll take that, man. They will certainly take that. And it's been a far improved performance here from Crew right now, looking like a completely different team from what we saw on Nuke. And we did kind of think that at least between the two maps here with these two teams, we should have a competitive map out of Crew. And Ancients absolutely delivering.
Ataraxia charging forwards here, going to find that the A-bomb site is mostly clear, so it feels like the rest of the team will join him in the not-so-distant future. There is a lone smoke that comes flying over the top. He's trying to bait someone out, I think. Ataraxia is a little suspicious of the lack of CTs, but maybe it really is a B-stack, he says. There are a few of them around. Bomb will slowly make its way over, and they will eventually get the plant, but I don't know, man. MIBR, they've still got that flash, still got that MP9. Something wacky could go down.
They'd love some damage. As you mentioned, they'd love to just get some kills to keep this T-side economy honest. Where is that flash? Grop has it in his back pocket right now. Waiting with it lined up. Players running through the center, back off that flash. Will lined up a couple people, reverse it, just holds down mouse button, one does well to find the frag. Decker will go down as well. Okay, I'd say that's like bare minimum in terms of the kills you'd want. The third, though, that is certainly going to compound the successes in the round here for MIBR. 3 frags on a full eco, you take that every day of the week, but that only means anything if they can win this next gun round.
Exactly. So, a lot riding on this one. And I think there is a bit of tension in the air where maybe MIBR felt they were just in an insurmountable position. A much better looking Crew across the board on this map, which is what we wanted to see. We wanted some competition out from these boys, and they are absolutely giving it. It's just a question of if they can, of course, keep that going.
Vital gun round here for MIBR. Now, if they lose this gun round, then they're on the brink of losing the map. We saw them kind of get going on the T side a little bit. We're still very back and forth. But now it's time to put up for MIBR on the T side. And it's a pretty standard setup coming through from them. Nothing really untoward. No super aggressive plays being made make sense when it's a round that's this important. You don't want to make a play that could give it up. Some info and control in middle, but giving Crew a lot of space and respect right now.
Yeah, moving really slowly here, these two teams. MIBR trying to take mid. Flash comes over the top. They've got a nice smoke there. I think that both of them are able to just see around the edge of, but it's a double spray down over at B. Meanwhile, in mid, they've managed to stem the tide as well. So an insane move from Laser has created the space on B, got that bomb down, and with pressure at mid, there's not much MIBR can do to, say, rotate people in. So this one's going to be over, and Crew will hit double digits.
Yeah, despite the fact that MIBR got the opening kill, that's what prompted Crew to make their move into the B bomb site. And as you say, fantastic opening kills coming through from Laser. And that will be 10 rounds on the board now for this T side. And I mean, MIBR keeping 2 players alive. I guess max round loss bonus behind them. They can drop a couple guns, but Ancient's getting out of control here. And it's actually it's vital that both these players stay alive. That's what's going to enable them to actually afford an investment in the next round. Save hits the shot necessary to lock these weapons in. But 10 for Crew. They are now 3 rounds away from getting those 3 points.
Yeah, really, really valuable stuff for them as well. I mean, we talked about the MIBR side of things and wanting to move up the table. Crew will probably want to secure their spot. I mean, if something goes awry, they have a few more games in hand than, say, the likes of Sharks, who would be the next up to bat. But ultimately, it's nice to feel safe, I suppose. And with a win here, I think they absolutely will be.
Yeah.
Timeout coming in from MIBR. Can't quite believe themselves. As, yeah, still yet to find a round on the CT side.
Yeah, a win here for Crew gets them up to 42 points, which is really important. I mean, Sharks currently have 39, and they've got one best of 1 left. So the best that Sharks could do would be 42. So they're the real threat here for Crew and Odek, who both on 39 points. I love this. I love it when you get to the end of the season and it's so closely contested. You know, nothing's locked in, nothing's guaranteed. And it means that even these best of 1 games at the end of the group stage carry a huge amount of weight and gravity before you've even actually gotten into the playoffs themselves.
Yeah, man, it definitely does keep the excitement going the whole way through. And it is nice when the BO1 format from time to time can leave us wanting, I think. Especially with a region like this where there can be some very uncompetitive teams from time to time, still a bit developing in its entirety, let's say, you know, into Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and South American Counter-Strike. But it does seem competition has stayed the whole season long, which is pretty cool to see. But the game itself continues delivering as well. Looking to close things out in quick fashion. MIBR just taking a timeout, but there's not really anything that's changed very much from them, so potentially just a conversation over the general approach. Maybe the attitude of the players has fallen off ever so slightly. It does feel that they've lost some of their bite here.
Good util usage continues to force safe backwards. Going to be a CT smoke there to actually give him a little bit of room. Could also get used against him, though. Riggy is trying to do exactly that. In the meantime, moves being made in Nuke. Actually going to ramp up here very quickly towards Donut. That's a huge kill out of Insani. The second part of the setup goes undetected initially. Laser, who wants to trade out his teammate, then finds that out the hard way. And that means they're going to have to try and force the issue. That's a very big kill coming through from Safe. And finally, we'll see some resistance out of MIBR here on their defensive half.
Yeah, better late than never, I suppose. Especially in this game that Crew have ultimately started to take over.
Yeah.
So very, very good to see. I think the issue that Crew now run into is the fact that things have been a bit too close for comfort in some of the rounds, and so they really do lack the cash now. They're just about able to put a buy together, but obviously that Tech9 sticks out like a sore thumb, and this is a little do or die for them. They have to be careful here. They need a bomb plant, I think, to just keep that economy boosted. Ataraxia, given a free day, he can't buy a gun, so he'll just go and retrieve one from the hands of a dead opponent. He will be traded out instantly.
Important kill coming back there from Drop to make sure Ataraxia can keep up that reign of terror. Still some work to be done here in the round, though. Look at this from reverse. This could actually be the play that unlocks the B bomb site. Huge amount of confidence coming through from him to push through that Jaguar smoke. That's what catches Safe off guard and makes life very difficult for Drop, who's now trying to deal with both cave and B ramp. That smoke's going to give him a lot of breathing room, though, but there's still plenty of time in the round here for the 3 versus 3 to play out for Crew. And they've got options available as well.
A lull in the action here in the middle of the round. Drop wants to go on the smoke. Reversive also wants to make a move off the smoke. Flash comes in. He does not consider the corner at all. Exiting Insani, all that remain. They know for sure that there is another B player with that flash coming in. So they'll be prepared for at least one more fight, if not both, now that they're starting to reveal their hand. A flash of their own comes round. Exit is on the edge of the smoke, ready to burst. Insani trying to draw attention away, even finds the the back of one. Bomb going to go down. Oh, Riggy. What a shot. I was just about to say so well placed here from Exit, but Riggy reacts quickly and will deny the clutch away. Crew have immediately returned and looking really great here as they attempt to close the game out.
Yeah, I don't think you can really fault Exit's decision-making at all. They're just really good timing on the play through the smoke, and Sani takes the contact, and Exit actually does everything perfectly right in that moment. But Riggy's mechanics up to the task, because if Riggy goes down there to Exit, the player who's planting the bomb is a sitting duck, and that's the easiest frag of his life. 1v2 would have been locked in, but Riggy able to adjust there, get the kill in time, and get his team up to 11. And if Crew can win this round here, they go 7-12, and there's no money in the bank there for the CT side, at least not enough to justify it. And I say that, they probably have enough round loss bonus, but the game would be in some serious, in a pretty rough position at that point for MIBR. But they are fighting back right now, and we're seeing a bit of a variation from them here, contesting lane.
Yeah, definitely good to see that they're not quite feeling down and out just yet. Still keeping the creativity. Smoke comes in, Reversive sort of responds with one of his own, but there's not really much that you could do with that smoke, to be fair. Maybe just confuses the situation for MIBR. Bomb is going to pull away here and look for a different approach.
Is there a world in which they just bunker down and call a save from the 5 versus 3? I mean, they don't have any obvious options to get back into the round here. You look at their money, it's not great either. Ataraxia probably get a Galil and armor in next round. I guess Laser could get something similar. It does look like they're just going to be calling it a day here in the 19th off the back of losing those opening kills.
Yeah, I think you might be right, though, that the save is unfolding, so kind of an anticlimactic finish into what feels like a pretty important round, but I'm not against the idea. Ataraxia and Laser hopefully will give us something, so yeah, it would be nice if they cook something up on this Crew side of things. I'm not quite sure where feels problematic from MIBR. They've just been, you know, unfortunate with losing a lot of the gunfights, which I think was not something we were expecting after that first map and the way that they performed. Crew realizing the position that they are in now, take another timeout, and should be able to do something with this.
It's been a fantastic turnaround from Crew between maps. I mean, getting dominated 13-2 and then being able to just dust yourself off and come back firing on the next map is commendable. I mean, it was the safe show on Nuke. I think he finished the map with 24 kills in the 15 rounds that we played. So, yeah, he had a fantastic performance, but MIBR certainly being tested and challenged here on Ancient, having to dig a lot deeper to contest. It's been all right, but still quite a way back. I mean, it means that they have to win consecutive rounds here. They haven't been able to do that yet in the second half. Build up some momentum, you win this round 9-11, then it's an anti-eco in the next, should be 10-11, and then they're breathing down Crew's necks, and the pressure certainly going to be felt a lot more by the T side, by the Argentinian squad. So let's see, what does round 20 have in store for us? There's a broken buy for Crew as they carried the weapons over. Can they find a way to make it work?
Oh, Exit's got some good timing here. Able to split the difference, safe as well, backing him up. They know that there's a bit of something going down, but Laser still falls to the AWP, unfortunately. Ataraxia also going to go down. So there's the two lower bought players. Insani finds another, not looking good here at all. As MIBR will hold the line pretty cleanly. Crew, I don't know, it is a change up from them in a sense that they just move a bit faster and kind of very cheeky, quite dry through a lot of these early choke points, but yeah, I don't know, man. They just get bested by the setup, really.
It's not even like MIBR had to really spring the trap in A main there either, because they had Exit in that forward position, and the plan was for Safe to take that first contact and then Exit to get in on the act as well. Wasn't even required. 5 versus 2 here, and Sani ruling the roost in middle. And I actually wouldn't love the decision for them to save again here, because you just continue the situation where you've got a disjointed economy. It can be really difficult to kind of try and iron it out once again when you do have this broken economy on the T side, but it looks like they will just bunker down and call the day once again. Lukazi's going hunting though.
Unsuccessfully.
How much do they commit here though?
Yeah, it looks like everything, doesn't it, to be fair? Deco is left really low now and does get caught off. Reversive as well traded out. I mean, that's a fair chunk gone. But I think they understand where they're at, right? When they're on the comeback, they have to deny these guns away. Now it's like a solid anti-eco. Crew hanging in the balance with only maybe 2 more rifle rounds if MIBR keep winning.
There is a little bit of a point to be made there, though. I remember long ago, NIP would always let players stay alive in those sort of situations because it meant that Crew, look, they get $2,400 here. Those 2 guys who would have stayed alive wouldn't have had any money, and it means in the next round, all they have is $2,400. So even though it's supposed to be a full buy for Crew, there'll still be like a bit of a broken buy. Of course, you know, you're always happy to deprive your opponents of firepower, but I think that could have been one of the rare situations where Crew carrying the guns over actually could have been a bit problematic for them if they didn't get like a bomb plant or a couple kills in this round. Anyway, just a bit of theory crafting. One flashbang is what they have at their disposal coming into this round, and I like that. I appreciate that Ataraxia. He hasn't gone for the P250 or the upgraded pistol. He's got the flash here to try and enable his team to get into the bomb site. And I think a flash goes a lot longer than an upgraded pistol. Trying to open up the bomb site, does blind up exit, and he'll get traded out. So at least there's a frag, but shouldn't be anything else in the round here up for grabs for Crew.
He does get rewarded for his selflessness as well. He makes more money off of the kill than he spent on the flash. So there you are. It is only marginal, but at least it is something. And as always, any damage is good damage in those basically full eco rounds. Really dangerous now, though, as Crew are going to be buying back in. And we need them to find success here. I think MIBR could snatch this one away at the very worst moment for Crew if they cannot hit that 12.
Yeah, MIBR finally with some wind in their sails down their defensive half. What's the plan going to be for Crew? How do they try and get themselves up to map and match point? Themselves up for a big burst into that B bomb site, at least somewhere along the line here in the round, and Util will start to rain on in. Safe is in position. He's got a couple teammates deep in Jaguar as well, so I'd say MIBR are pretty well poised to deal with what's coming their way, and it's certainly going to be making life a whole lot easier after both properly safe find the flag. Okay.
Yeah. Getting a little weird. Getting a little weird. That's unfortunate. I mean, there was a moment.
Yeah.
But it was short-lived. It was very short-lived indeed. This is now looking like MIBR might have just swung back. Since taking that timeout, their game has improved kind of tenfold for me. Really been far more proactive, far more heads up, maybe a bit more respectful of the fights as well against Crew. Crew have not had a bomb plant since then. Obviously not won a round since then, so this is not going well, and now it's sort of against the grain here. Crew are going to take the half buy and, in essence, playing for overtime.
Yeah, that's the plan. 11-7 down, and it's not even like these rounds that they've been losing have been close. So it'll be very difficult. They have been able to find quite a lot of space. Conventional smoke speed thrown as well to give them a little bit of cover, and it may not work out for them. Exit's barely giving them any room. Insani is certainly not giving them any room. In fact, he is taking everything from them. A quad kill out of Insani. Sure, it's against the pistols, but that was all by his lonesome, just knocking down the bomb site reversive. Last player left alive. They know exactly where he is. They'll polish off the job. MIBR get themselves up to map and match point. They've got one chance to finish it off, but they'll be breathing a whole lot easier now that they've been able to amass 12.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think they will be feeling pretty happy with themselves as well, given the context that you have just laid out. Do have the timeout from Crew coming in. All 3 being used on this map. Good to see from them that they are proactive with their timeouts. We do have a good number of teams at this kind of level that barely ever use them. So yeah, good to see them really in it, and you can tell that they are giving this map an awful lot of themselves. Really great game from them, but also I think a very difficult game for them to even bring it this close. And hopefully this is something that, you know, they're able to utilize in the future. A bit of an ancient in the back pocket. Are we going to get a few more, though, before the end of proceedings, or will MIBR really break the hearts of crew here?
That is the question of the round here. Round 24. We've required all of the rounds of regulation. Will we require some more sprinkled on top, or do MIBR get the job done here? Very good fight back here on their CT side. And they're not going to go into a shell coming into the 24th round either. Going to be a little bit of a totem pole assembled here towards the bottom of middle. Insani's just on the opposite side. Lukowski draws first blood. Big kill on Ataraxia. And Insani is going to be trading positions with these players in the smoke. 3 past him. Of course, he'll never realize that he's got Exit to rely on as well. I love that we just kill X-Ray in that moment as all the kills come through for MIBR. And crew evidently have run out of gas here on Exit.
Oh, run out of luck as well, man. Yeah, MIBR certainly the favourites this evening, it would seem, both in the terms of punditry and in terms, I think, of... Oh, okay. Hold on. Reverse it.
Way, right?
Yeah, no. He gets clowned on in the end as he's got his back turned, but, you know, you got to keep it alive. The hope dies last. MIBR, though, will steal it away in the end. Crew will be absolutely kicking themselves. A really, really great game from them, but just lost themselves. And maybe I give them credit for the timeout. If I am to be, you know, a little negative on that front, I think potentially could have called that timeout early. Should have realised what was happening to them slightly earlier on in the game, but unfortunately didn't and couldn't stop MIBR. They had the timeout of their own, of course, and it really turned things around. So I think you have to respect your position. We saw when they went very active for the hunt at the end of the round when they were trying to save, where we were like, oh, should they maybe go in for this? But they know they have the wherewithal to understand that it's like, we're on the comeback. We have to deny guns as much as we possibly can. Just little things like that, placing MIBR maybe ahead, not quite shoulders, above crew in that game.
Yeah, it certainly did edge them there and got them the victory. I mean, from 11-7, crew do kind of just fall off the face of the earth, right? I don't even think they got more than 2 kills in any of those rounds that they lost. Felt like there was probably a lack of adaptation from crew throughout that first half as well. Just kept trying to play out the same sort of start of the round, you know, default, mid-round contest mid, and then try and just go about the default, finding space and control, and then set up for an exec. The one round that they just went straight through A mains, the A bomb site looked really good. So I thought we could have seen some more depth there from crew, and they kind of did just fall flat.
Yeah, it's a shame. It is definitely a shame. We check in with Lukowski one last time to sort of see how he's done. Maybe not quite of an impactful game from him as compared to Nuke, to be fair. Yes, Nuke was all about a different name, the Orpa, of course, but still Lukowski looked pretty good. He was a little quieter there, potentially. I think that he is still finding his feet in this team, although he does indeed look good. But yeah, a great game in from MIBR ultimately. And I think we're pretty excited for what this team are potentially able to do with Lukowski moving forwards. I think that especially on the international front, it gives them an extra prong, an extra bite into their attack, where we have just seen Exit actually play very, very well, and maybe, you know, they've had this player in the interim alongside Insani drop as well, has had some pretty good series against international opponents, but Breno, it felt like maybe his days were indeed coming to an end. We'll see. We'll see. We've had it all with G2. Can Malbs fit in the roles? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Is that even really the problem in the G2 team? Maybe MIBR having a bit of that themselves. You know, the role cells going a little crazy against what he's able to do. But yeah, really, really fun game out there on Ancient, and a pleasure to cast alongside you, sir.
Yeah, likewise, Scriv. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I'm glad we got another date lined up for tomorrow night once again. We don't know exactly which game we're going to be bringing you guys, but we do know for a fact we will be here same time, same place, as we really do start to iron out the business end of the group stage here in the ECL South America Season 48. That's all we have for you guys tonight, though. Thank you so much for joining us. Shout out to the productions, the observers, the admin, and everybody else for making this one work. Like I said, we will be back again tomorrow, but for now, it's good night.